quick. I need to see if it's found already. After you're done typing, we're looking up Phoenix Wright walkthroughs. You gotta minimize that. Boy, don't you know how to samurai?
Your computer is really struggling with this whole...
It's a slow laptop, leave it alone.
Two-tab system.
It's a slow laptop.
I think it's slow because it's got, like, Bitcoin miners on it or something.
Becco wafers.
It's got Becco wafers on it.
You know, that was actually a callback to the,
So what do you want to do?
Oh wait, is this the Twitch? Is this the Twitch? Are you on the Twitch or are you on a YouTube?
But it's got the...
What are you on right now? Yes, this is Twitch.
That's current.
Okay.
It just doesn't have the volume on.
So I guess we're live? Well, I mean, you can turn it on if you want, but then it's going to be really distracting because then we're going to hear
I
ourselves.
don't hear it though.
Can't. Wait, is our audio not coming through?
No, I meant your volume on your...
Oh, that's because the sound on my laptop doesn't work.
Oh, well...
Well, so
then we're at an impasse then, aren't we?
I had this headset, and you know, here's where it goes, but then it, like, broke, and the piece that broke off is just stuck in there, so it's just permanently set to headphones with no headphones.
Well...
And I don't know how to get it out.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Anyway, hi, welcome back.
I'm gonna see if I can adjust the audio.
Taylor's doing technical stuff. He's at my house. He's at my house again, and and we're back to playing Phoenix Wright. I'm Bluejack. That's Taylor. Say hi, Taylor.
Hey.
He's focusing. He's focusing really hard on the technical stuff. He's looking up walkthroughs for you too. Well, I think right now he's
Does it make a noise?
messing with my... Oh, he's trying to figure out how to get sound on my laptop. Don't worry about that now. Just...
Well, as in, I don't know if the thing is working. Alright, fine, I'll...
I mean, you could probably just check on your phone. That audio's probably fine. I mean, probably. Hopefully.
Probably fine.
It's probably fine. If it's not fine, then that would really suck. But, so... We're looking up Phoenix Wright walkthroughs because...
Oh, that is the bird in the game.
Oh, were you confused about that?
Yeah, because it's a bird, but it's kind of like it's kind of like a chiptune bird, so it's like a little not like a real bird, but enough like a bird that you're like, that might be a bird.
We have this stray cat that lives in our tree that my sister started calling Tweety because she's like meow meow. She like does a little tweet thing. It sounds like she's tweeting when she meows. I didn't do a very good impression of it, but trust me. So I started watching Harley Quinn.
Wait, you didn't do the intro thing, did you?
Well, yeah, I was like, I'm Lujack, and that's Taylor, and you were like,
I'm
focusing on the
distracted.
laptop.
I'm trying to figure out,
It's okay. I informed him of what you were doing.
And, welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
And I'm Taylor, and he's... Oh no, we've recursed.
We're stuck in a time loop. Dude.
Hold on, let me adjust my radio here. Maybe I can get some messages from myself.
Dude, speaking of time loops, so I watched like 3 episodes of Love, Death, and Robots.
Not sure what that is, but alright.
So it's basically like... it's... Taylor's taking my controller.
I want to look around.
He's looking around. So Love, Death, and Robots is kind of like it's a cartoon, but like every episode is different, and like they don't even take place in the same world. Like the first episode opens with, oh, hi Maya. The first episode is like about this. It's like on an alien planet, and they do like this thing with mechs, except they're not mechs. They're like, I think, organic creatures that they're mentally linked to, and they like do combat tournaments with them.
Why does it say up and down are options when up and down are on the D-pad is this?
I don't fucking know.
My options are this.
Wait, no, options is the options button.
That is odd.
Back to Bed
Yeah.
finish on.
Welcome
Now,
back to our Back to Bed stream.
I don't know if we're going to be able to play that, because like I said, I don't have a PS Now account, and when I did the free trial thing for it, it was like, your bandwidth sucks. And it, like, kicked me out.
Yeah, but that was like probably what, years ago? Because
Dude, it
considering.
was like 3 months ago.
Okay, and then how do you play Borderlands 3?
Because PS Now requires a better bandwidth.
Sure it does.
I don't fucking
How do
know.
how do we leave here? We've already gotten all the
What,
stuff
give,
here.
give me this. We got all the stuff everywhere. That's why you're looking up a walkthrough. How's that walkthrough
Stop
going,
looking
by
at
the
it.
way?
Stop looking at it.
Your phone freaking fell off. Picked it up. You're welcome. Love, Death, and Robots. So Love, Death, and Robots is like every episode is different, and it's like a cartoon. And my favorite episode is the one with 3 robots. But the weirdest episode, that's also my favorite. I've only watched like 3, but they were all pretty cool. But the one that I'm talking about is this guy. It's like a time loop. The whole episode is a time loop. It opens up with this girl witnessing this guy killing someone, and then he like sees her, and they're like from across the building, right? They're like looking through the windows at each other, and he like sees her, and she's like, "Oh shit, he saw me!" And then she like runs away, and she's like this stripper lady who she's pretty naked for like most of the episode, but
Well, then she's not a very good stripper, is she?
well, no, it's weird because like she was pretty clean like before she went, but she went to like where she works at in order to find out where some colleague was or something was, because they were like she wanted his help. And the guy's chasing her this whole time, and like she gets pulled into work and does a dance thing, but the dude that's been following her is there, and she's like, "Oh shit, he's there!" So she runs away, and she gets like this sort of thing to throw on, but it doesn't like connect in the middle because she doesn't fasten it. She's just like running around pretty naked for like that point of the episode, but like he eventually catches up to her, and the whole time he's not like malicious. He's literally just being like, "Hey, wait, I need to talk to you." Not
Negan,
even, not
you
even.
forgot your jacket.
Yeah,
No.
it's really weird because like she just saw him kill a dude, so she's thinking, "Oh, he's going to kill me because now I'm a witness." But every time he speaks, he's not like. He doesn't sound
why
like
does
he's trying to kill her. He's literally just like, "Hey, I need to talk to you for a minute." Well, you don't find that out until the end because the episode ends with her
It turns
killing
out
him
he and the
in
mouse are in a big simulation.
Oh, hey, look what I found. I need to do this first. Glug, 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 glug.
Tell you what.
Tell you what. But no, so the episode ends with her killing him because she thinks he's trying to kill her. In reality, he's just trying to figure out why she looks like the guy that he killed before who was trying to kill him. So she basically kills him, and then she looks out the window and sees him in the building across from her witnessing the murder, and she's like, "I just killed you." And you know it's a time loop right off the bat because it starts out with him killing the dude, but you can see the person that he's killing, and it is exactly the person that is running away from him the whole time. That's why the whole episode he's like, "Can I just talk to you for a minute?" Because, yeah. It's so weird, and then the time loop starts all over again, except with her now trying to chase him down. And of course, you know that he's going to be running away with the same kind of mindset, and she's going to be like, "Wait, I need to talk to you!" It's so weird. So wild. I need to watch more episodes of that. Also, I've been,
Alright, wait, let's go to the... Wait, can we go to the employee area?
There's an employee area?
Yeah, we gotta go to the main gate first.
Main gate. Move. Oh, there's an employee area!
We've been there before.
Were we? Oh, it usually does that when it's their first time. I mean, not the first time, but like the first time since the trial, I guess, because we were in here before the trial, but... October 18th, Global Studios employee area.
Look, it's that assistant girl. Also, did you hear a ding? Was that in game or was that like?
I thought it was
in-game.
in game. What was it? Ding?
Yeah, it's
I
just
didn't
all
hear a
dings
ding.
sound very similar.
I
to
didn't
me.
hear a ding. Sometimes when you, like that was like a blow.
Nah, more of a ding.
No, it's more like a. "Ah!"
Hi. Whoops, lawyers, right? All right, hold on. Hi. Whoops, lawyers, right?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should give her like a sort of sassy,
No.
like a girl who drinks coffee all the time and wears shades, and she's just like, "Hi, what can I do for you?
Just got Commissioner
Would you
Gordon.
like a
No, no.
macchiato?"
Drinks coffee all the time, and I just had the mental image of just Commissioner Gordon with like a 5 o'clock shadow and his hands shaking, and he's like, I've gotten 2 hours of sleep this week. Why did I become a commissioner, police commissioner to Gotham, the most crime-ridden town in the
Right.
century?
Can we actually talk about Harley Quinn for a minute?
Yeah.
Because, like, I just watched it, and I have mixed feelings about it.
I have positive feelings about it, so that provides a bit of contrast.
I like so like I like it, but like I also kind of think it's I don't know how to put these into words. Basically, I don't like how over the top and exaggerated everyone is, but sometimes it's funny.
Except for like Poison Ivy, who's like
the most chill person.
She's like the straight man of the.
Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, I feel like, are the only characters who act the way I would expect them to in the comic books. Everyone else is nothing at all like how they would behave in the comic books.
Like you remember what Dr. Psycho was.
Yeah, it's funny because like the first episode, Poison Ivy is trying to get Harley to understand that Joker doesn't love her, and she like puts together this whole elaborate thing.
Well, no, before that though, it's just like, look, he's not coming for you. Well, that's just one person's opinion.
He's not coming! Everyone in the cell.
Oh, what do you know? You're all freaking insane.
But yeah, so like, basically Riddler, I like the idea that Poison Ivy is friends with Riddler. That Riddler will
or
just,
at least like,
or at least they're close enough
like
that she can
associates.
call him up for a favor.
Yeah.
He'll be like, alright, what's Harley doing this time?
Look, it all started with that seed of a friendship. That seed of a friendship.
Seed of a friend. Oh yeah, the
You
seed of
see,
friendship.
he ate an orange and he
Yeah,
pooped out a seed of a friendship.
How did she get plants in here? I ate an orange and pooped out a seed.
I added for some reason I'm almost certain he didn't say fiddly dee, but that's how I imagined him saying it for some reason. It's, fiddly dee, I ate an orange and pooped out a seed.
Also, I love Jim Gordon. He's like one of my favorite characters, like in general. And at first, I was kind of annoyed with the way he was acting in the show because I'm such a fan of this character. But then on the other hand, you mentioned that like he's probably working on 2 hours of sleep, and I was like, that makes his entire character in this show make a lot more sense.
Yeah, like his
He's
concept
just,
being
like,
that he's just
shaking
powered
with,
on
like, a
coffee.
cup of coffee. Just look, man, I get like
Coffee
2 hours of
and
sleep
unicorn
daily. Like this isn't just only last night I got 2 hours of sleep. I mean, I only ever get 2 hours of
I
sleep.
spend half of my shift finding out where like various villains are setting up their lairs, and the other half trying to suss out like corrupt cops within my own like districts.
And then, well, yeah, the whole thing with like the margarita mix, like basically,
Don't spoil anything here.
I won't spoil anything.
Well, what I'm saying is that it's hard to get 50 gallons of margarita mix on short notice.
But basically, they do this whole thing, and Batman shows up, and then he just kind of leaves. Like he's
No, because he was running after. I thought he was running after.
yeah, he was
Joker.
after Riddler because Riddler was like
No, he was after Joker. Riddler was on the balcony, I think.
no, he was originally after Riddler because Riddler was
Well,
like
he was
I'm.
originally after Riddler, but then Joker shows up and he's like, "Yeah, sure."
Oh wait, is that why he left? Was he chasing after Joker?
That's what I.
That's why. Okay,
I feel
because
like we only remember a bit of the scene.
Yeah.
That's why I did that up.
that's why I was confused because I was like, why wouldn't Batman just immediately arrest all of these people on the spot? But I didn't think about the fact that the Joker had just run away and he had to go after him because. The thing that makes Joker dangerous is his insanity. Like, Poison Ivy controls plants, but she's not, like, insane. Yeah, there have been a few storylines where she, like, took over the planet and killed all the humans, but, like, she's normally not insane. That's what makes the Joker so crazy, is that he'll, like...
Well, that's the interesting thing, is that, like, for some villains, they're not, like, insane as much as, like, they have more power than the average person has, and are like, wait a minute, this thing doesn't work. So like Vulture and Spider-Man, where it's like, Oh yeah, here's just like a working class guy who's trying to survive in a post alien New York. And he's like, well, let me monetize this. Just gonna start picking up all this alien tech and then selling it. Oh, wait a minute. I've just become underground arms trader. Well, you do what you gotta do, I guess. But like you compare that to like specifically like certain iterations of various villains, but mostly the Joker, where like it's just I feel like he'd just be at the bottom of the list as far as like people goons would actually be working for.
Right.
I feel like there's gotta be some kind of background plot where it's like goons that work for the Joker have also made a deal with like a magical supervillain that if they die they just respawn later on.
Right.
Like, haha, you can't lose.
Wait, is she putting out a job offer where we like don't have to literally jump into a hellhole portal and die?
Anyone taking up this offer? No. Just one guy. I got a thing. I'm busy.
Jumps into the portal. Jumps into the portal. I got a thing. Just jumps into the portal.
Tell you what, jumps into the hell portal.
I'm glad that Kite Man is in this show.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that his kite is like retractable. It makes some level of sense.
Yeah. I did come across a weird thing on Twitter. Someone said that Harley Quinn was anti-Semitic because it portrayed Penguin as like a Jewish dude, and it just has that stereotype of him being like rich and having a big nose and shit.
You know, I imagined a scene like that where he just grabs the mic and he's like, "Now listen, you." It's like I don't have the proper words, but he's like, "Now listen for a moment. I am a supervillain because I chose a life of supervillainy. You leave everyone else out of this. I am fully within my rights, or technically not, to become a supervillain regardless of my background."
Jewish people can be supervillains? What the fuck do you know? But
and one of the more successful ones in Gotham, to be honest.
Yeah. Is he even Jewish in the comics?
Honestly, I don't know. But
like, honestly, I don't think he is, but if he was, I wouldn't be surprised.
I do like, I gotta say, supervillain bar mitzvahs are up there with werewolf bar mitzvahs. Like, it's just it's a magical time.
Where the fuck did you see a werewolf bar mitzvah?
Well, you see, boys became men, and men became wolves.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's a skit from 30 Rock. It's funnier when you recite it than when you see the original.
30 Rock is one of those shows that, like, I'll watch it if it's on, but I won't seek it out.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Anyway, you gotta voice this sassy coffee drinker lady. Freckle-faced coffee drinker.
I love Mrs. Cobblepot. She's just, yeah, I know we're all evil here, but could you put a little sugar on that?
Oh,
that
so
salty
sorry.
language?
So sorry.
Sorry,
Mrs.
Mrs. Cobblepot. Won't happen again.
We gotta get the fuck out of here.
We gotta get out of here.
And Bane sounding like the way he does in Dark Knight Rises. Hearing that voice coming out of that version of him is amazing.
It's a whole new thing.
Oh, hey, Joker.
I'm glad that they remembered just how tan he is
Gotham
under
Stadium.
the suit.
What's that?
I'm glad they remembered how tan he is under the suit.
How what he is?
How tan he is.
Tan.
He's Hispanic because he's got tanner skin than he's not like a Tom Hardy sort of pale-ish. You know, he's tan.
You know, it's weird. Now that I'm like actually I had a weird transition from like movies to comics because of how so many of my first experience with characters were. Like, my first experience with Deadpool was Wolverine Origins, which we all know is garbage. Not just that interpretation of Deadpool, but like the whole movie. And
which is especially weird because I'm pretty sure they don't even give him a name in that movie.
Yeah, and then like my first experience with Bane was in Dark Knight Rises, and that's why
it wasn't in like Batman Forever or whatever.
No,
wasn't the olden days.
No, it was Batman. It was Dark Knight Rises, and that's why I hold like that's why I would like to hold TV shows and movies to a higher standard, because like that first experience can really make or break whether you actually get into comic books. Because for the longest time, I did not like comic book Deadpool. I thought he was stupid and I hated him. But then I got to know him and I was like, huh, this is pretty cool. And the way I got to know him was through Comic Storian. Shout out to Comic Storian for helping me to get into comic books and to just find a good jumping in point. Because I went to Comic Storian one day and he like did all of the Deadpool comics and talked about how he like had a daughter and how the daughter died and did all the stories up to the Incursion event, and I was like, wow, Deadpool is a really deep character.
Yeah.
Like he's a sad clown. Deadpool is just a sad clown, and the world just keeps throwing him around.
Just picture Deadpool up on a wall, Grunkle Stan. Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Because my second the only reason that I knew he was so different in the comic books was because I played Marvel vs. Capcom, and that was by that time I had learned that the character within Wolverine Origins was supposed to be called Deadpool. So when he showed up in Marvel vs. Capcom, I was like, that's not how he was in the movie.
Well,
I'm
this
very
is a vast
confused.
improvement.
Yeah. And that was when I started hating them, and then I watched Comic Storian, and then I started loving him again.
What's funny
I never
is
really loved him before. It was more like, oh, he's cool.
a lot of the first-hand like stuff I know about Deadpool outside of like say the movies is from X-Force, which was it was a weird run because basically
I borrowed that comic
the
from
funny
you.
thing about X-Force is like basically
The one with
everyone
like Kid Apocalypse.
everyone on X-Force has at least some level of healing factor, even if it's like minor.
Yeah.
And like they were up against the Four Horsemen, and I feel like the Four Horsemen were really on theme that time. Like I'm pretty sure War was just like a giant monster dude, but Pestilence was like a person who could like spit out like swarms of insects, which I was like, yeah, that makes sense for Pestilence. And then Famine was a guy who specifically his ability was that when he plays a drum, it just causes people to wither away. And I'm like, wait, you actually found someone with the famine power? That actually works.
Wow.
Most of the time you're like, okay, here's War and Death, and they're basically interchangeable. And then like Pestilence is, I don't know, whoever I got. Famine. The dumbest thing about Famine though is that like he gets his power from this or he uses his power through this like old-timey drum because he's like this drummer boy from or drummer man from like Civil War times.
Right.
But what's funny is that like the idea that Apocalypse like went back in time, found this one guy, and it's like, ah, yes, and you know what? Just keep your outfit. This exact like aesthetic of like a Confederate drummer man. I'm just gonna keep that there. You'll just be exactly as you are.
I mean, to be fair, he's probably not. He probably doesn't care about the wardrobe.
I guess.
Probably.
Not.
I mean, when your whole thing is trying to take over the world and build a master race, then you're probably not thinking of what you're...
Apocalypse only has two speeds. He either has fully reinvent a person with, like, nanites, or just be like, whatever, you just put on some pants, I guess. But, yeah, he actually had a famine power, which was interesting to see its, like, overall effect on people. It also brought up the paradox of a healing factor, which is can a person with a healing factor, if they're starving, can they eat themselves in order to live? And the implication was yes, that the healing factor works regardless of their overall like caloric intake, because like I mean, it wouldn't have to. And
right.
Because of that, it's like, yes, well, if you've got the stomach for it, yeah, you can just like eat your arm and then grow your arm back, and now you have a full stomach and an arm.
That is deeply disturbing.
It is. It was X-Force was also one of the comics that decided to vastly change the size of Blob. Like he's different. He's a different size in every comic, and in this one, like even within the comic, he ranges from like 8 to 11 feet tall.
Remember when the Blob cannibalized Wasp and then Ant-Man bit his head off?
Yeah. I think Famine hits Blob with his drum, and he just becomes like a bony pile.
Huh.
Like, it's exactly how you'd expect.
Wasn't there a comic where Blob got like depowered, but he just kind of turned into a more horrible version of Fat Bastard from Austin Powers when he lost all his weight?
That's terrifying.
Little excess skin though.
Yeah, you do get extra skin. If you lose weight rapidly.
Yeah. You should probably voice this girl now.
I probably should. I noticed you were Hi, WP's lawyers, right? I noticed you were lost in thought, talking about something about Austin Powers. And...
She's just standing there the whole time, like, can I help you guys?
I noticed you were talking about healing factors, and
it's pronounced whoops.
It's pronounced whoops. I heard about the trial. Great job, guys.
She's the killer.
She hasn't even done. Wait, you mean the previous trial or a different trial?
She's the killer. I'm calling this now. Oh wait, I'm Phoenix. I'm supposed to be voicing that. But yeah, no, I'm calling her right now. I think she's the killer.
Read the line. Okay.
Oh, ho ho ho! Don't mention it, Penny. Penny.
Is it true they caught the security lady?
I don't know. Phoenix, why do you sound like you're having sex right now?
I was thinking more of
or you're constipated.
He's trying to call a taxi that's a flying sleigh.
Or that. Oh.
That's how you call a taxi that's also a flying sleigh. You gotta hoe at it. Ho!
Just gets to like Nico Bellic drunk off his ass.
Taxi! Yellow sleigh!
Yellow red flying thing with reindeer!
Caribou thing!
Big
Dude,
man!
I was like, I don't know, 14 when I learned that caribou and reindeer are the same exact species.
I was today years old when I learned that.
Yeah, they're like, I always thought that reindeer were like a mythical like creature that was similar to like a deer or an elk, and then it was like, no, reindeer don't like. Flying reindeer are their own thing, but the concept of a reindeer is just a thing that exists in most of like the what's the word, the global north. Yeah, they're just caribou. I mean, they're one and the same. Just like a cougar is a puma is a mountain lion.
Go figure.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Anyway,
actually, she just called me.
What did she call you?
But I ain't calling you for dinner.
I ain't calling you a truther.
I ain't calling you a truther. She told me to cover up that drain.
I thought you said dream. I was like, oh my god, it's that
drain.
Cover it up.
It's beaming an image into my mind.
It's beaming a shower head into my brain.
Do you have a weird primal fear of drains?
No? Should I?
I do, but just like I don't like holes in the ground.
I mean, like I have a fear of a spider crawling up and going up my ass and killing me while I'm on the shitter.
I just got a fear of like a hole that you accidentally step into. You know, it just feels weird.
Well, I mean that's probably why it's directly under the shower. Like not even under the shower head,
That's
on like the whole
got,
other
like,
side of the shower
it,
head.
You know? I don't know. I don't want to fall through into a hole.
My sister has a fear of those great things, or like those
those storm drain things?
Yeah, like
well,
because of it.
Oh no, you're talking about the rectangle thing.
Yeah,
I was talking about those mesh things that do the same thing except in the middle of a road.
Well, she has a fear of those too, just like anything that's like that.
I only
that
have a fear of those if I
am
carrying my phone at the time, and I'm like, those grates are wide enough for a phone to fall through. They are.
Yeah, that is pretty terrifying.
If you were holding like, I don't know, a rubber duck or something, you'd be fine. They're just way too thick.
One time I was at work. We were in the truck, in the box truck. We were on the freeway, and the window was down, and there was a bee. And I was using my phone. I was like reading a comic book, and there was a bee, and I was like, ah! And the phone went right out the window, and I was like, we gotta stop! And we never found that phone. And so that's why I never have my window down. My job coach is pretty cool, But he kind of annoys me sometimes because he likes to put the window down, and I always got to put it back up. And I'm like, dude, like I have a fear of my phone flying through the window.
Well,
Can you
look,
just not have
either
it
have
down
the
all the way?
window, either have the window up, or have the window down with your phone in your like lap.
Yeah, but I'm always looking at my phone because I'm always reading comic books when we're like
Oh man,
going from
I
point A to
always,
point B.
as much as I'd like to do that, I'd get really motion sick.
Really?
Yeah, I get motion sick when I read stuff on.
Is that because of the brain thing?
You know,
Or did you have that before the surgery?
I'm pretty sure I had that before, and it's pretty much the same now.
Taylor,
Yeah, I had the brain thing.
Yeah, do you want to tell that story? Like way back in high
basically
school?
back in, I don't know, like 2012, I
We were
think.
still in high school at the time.
Yeah, I had a brain surgery. I had a surgery on my cerebellum because I got a small tumor thing there, and it took me about 3 or so days to recover, and my whole like balancing system had to like adjust after that. What's wild though is that it's pretty much back to normal, where it's for a while my brain just had to reconnect. Like this, basically my cerebellum just like used a bunch of empty offices it wasn't using. I was like, hey, y'all remember how to stand upright? Just do that, except with this other part of the brain.
Right.
You got like 90% of your cerebellum left.
Alright. I remember I remember you telling me when we went on the Tilt-A-Whirl, because like we were in special ed, so like we would go to the fair or like the carnival or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And we would always go on the Tilt-A-Whirl because it was great. And I remember we went on that, and when we got off, it was like after your brain surgery, and you were like, my feelingness of dizziness and balance is different now.
Yeah. Also, we figured out that if you tilt while on the Tilt-A-Whirl, you can get it to go like extra fast.
Ah, dude.
But you gotta be careful because you get it going too fast, and you just really feel those G-forces.
It gets really terrifying.
It's too much. Yeah, it's too much tilting and
Man.
whirling.
I don't think I've been on a Tilt-A-Whirl since high school. We should go to the fair sometime.
Yeah, that's not until like I think summer. Which, you know, why do they host fairgrounds in like summer in like a desert state? It's
I don't
maybe
know.
somewhere like kids can go.
If it was in the
'cause they're not
spring,
in
it'd be
school.
nice. Spring or fall, either one of those would be good.
Yeah. Some
What's
kind
that?
of fling of the spring.
What's spring fling? Is that do they bring fairs in the spring with the Tilt-A-Whirl and stuff?
It's your line, by the way.
Oh shit! Right,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
you're right.
grab fruit snacks. You want one?
Yeah, give me a fruit snack. You mean that one? Wow, what a mess. I see. That's Taylor's line, but he's getting fruit snack. Oh, it's all the way back there. You have to open up a new box.
Yeah, you got a little
Yeah, hang
claw
on,
thing,
my
or
my
do you
arms are
just
longer.
reach your giant ape arms. Back
Yeah,
there?
got my ape arms. Big old ape arms. What is this mug up here? I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna leave that there. I
Yeah.
don't want to mess with that. Whatever kind of system my grandma has going on top of this fridge. It's between her and the
They're
fridge.
alphabetized by height.
Oh, should probably.
You forgot to open
I
the
forgot to
fridge.
open it. Here, hold the controller.
Okay.
I just like moved him up to the front and was like, there, done.
And while you're doing that, I'll tell a very short story that. Jeff from System Mastery, he had a kid. He had a little baby, and he was mentioning that something to do when his baby was just like taking a nap is playing video games on the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
And he's like, yeah, and he's like, you know, as much of the innovations they added, like most of the new stuff that they added to the PlayStation controller is not very useful for like someone who's holding a baby, because the controller lights up, it rumbles, it makes sound. I want a very quiet controller.
Right.
I honestly forgot that the controller could make sound.
Yeah, I don't think about that because I'm always using my headphones, but the only time I ever, like, intentionally was unplugged was with Dying Light, because I liked that every time you were on the walkie-talkie with someone, their voice would come out through the controller.
Mm-hmm.
So I never had my headset plugged in when I was playing Dying Light, because one, that's fucking terrifying, and two, that's really cool.
Hmm.
It's your line.
I know. I know it's my turn.
Oh, okay. But would you like to finish whatever thought you were about to have there? Oh, I know is the line. I'm so stupid.
Hit the button. I'm not so good with handiwork. So I'm an assistant, right? Or more of a technical person?
Yeah.
Like an
I don't really
AD?
think that's an assistant's job.
Well, but you do work on the props and the backdrops, right? Right.
Maybe. Who's asking? Mind your own business,
Just
Maya.
lots of times they end up looking worse than they did before I fixed them. Ah, that was me when I was using Legos when I was a kid. I was like, let me put these together, and just my hands were too. I mean, that really tells you like how much you develop as like a kid when like you're at a point where like Legos don't really work in your clumsy fingers.
Yeah.
And eventually you're like, oh, okay, I could just like mush these together, and that works.
Legos is one of those things that I could never develop a taste for. Like growing up, I didn't like putting things together or taking them apart. Except for Bionicle. I had like one Bionicle.
Well, yeah, Bionicles
and
are super rad.
Yeah, one of my or what?
Bionicles are super rad.
Yeah. And like as a kid I had one Bionicle. And I knew nothing about Bionicles except that they existed. There was like one movie that I watched when I was a kid.
I saw part of a movie,
I think it
and
was
I think
Mask of
I saw
Light.
part of a game that was like browser based, and I had the Bionicle that was the one with the little. It had the little fangs, and it would like fold up like a little viper.
I had
It would
one
fold
that
up into a ball like a Droideka.
Yeah.
Can I have one of those?
No.
How many do you have?
I had one that had like a weird maggot thing in the head.
That's weird.
I don't know what it was.
I really. That reminds me, dude. During the Lego Movie, they're talking about there's a bunch of realms like your world, the Lego Legotopolis. There's the cowboy world, the spooky world, the shiny world, and a whole bunch of other worlds. And while it's flipping through, one of them is Bionicle. It's like a whole bunch of other worlds that don't even matter. It's like, hey, don't you just Bionicle like that? It's a bigger product than you're selling right here.
Don't you fucking talk shit about Bionicle.
What's funny is that like you couldn't even bring in Bionicle. Like Bionicle, I feel like Bionicle would be like it's the aliens in the Lego universe itself. Because like everything is Lego, but then Bionicle is a slightly different kind of Lego. It
Yeah,
uses
they're
different
not
parts.
They're not really Legos. They're just
Yeah.
parts that you stick together. Your line.
Oh. I'm sure these things happen. Nothing to worry yourself about.
Ah, okay.
You're right. I won't.
Okay, happy for you. Personally, I think she should worry at least a little bit more. Personally, Phoenix, I think you should shut the fuck up.
I gotta excuse me. I have to go to the guard station. Get more fruit snacks.
Stop talking with your mouth.
They're good snacks, Brent.
They are good. Here, have another one.
I'm supposed to. No! I'm gonna put this aside for later. I'm supposed to fill in for Miss Oldbig.
Miss Olbug.
Right, see you later then.
Later.
Good luck with your investigation. Man, their movies must have really short credits. Because, like, there's only like 5 people in this whole place. Or, no, their TV show.
And they're all called Alan Smithy in the credits.
Well, either that or like a lot of it is done like a lot of the writing and animation and stuff is just done from like people at their own studios or at home or something.
Right.
So like all like half the credits are just like various like storyboard stuffs.
Right. There's a half-finished backdrop for a stage here. Looks like a castle.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Old Tokyo Castle. Wait a minute, didn't we already examine all this stuff? Oh,
Nope, we did not.
I've wait, real quick. I've started playing Assassin's Creed
Oh, the
Origins.
drain. The drain was where the kid got in, so that's why they taped it up.
We should probably look at that. But first, I want to talk about Assassin's Creed
Oh,
Origins.
really?
Yes, really. I really like it. Like, I really, really love it. I like how there's basically an autopilot for your mounts,
Oh, yeah.
so you can just like go about doing whatever while your camel or whatever is transporting you to wherever far away place you go to. I got a
Yeah.
unicamel.
Ah,
I saw the unicamel. And I was like, I must have this.
it's got a horn or
It
something.
like leaves a rainbow trail.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Send me a screenshot
Yeah,
of
I'll show you it after we finish streaming. But it's weird because bless you.
that.
Oh, that sounded like a super satisfying sneeze.
I felt it in my chest. You ever sneeze and it feels like your like chest muscle tightened up?
Yeah,
That was weird.
yeah. But yeah, it was weird at first because I had to basically because I'd been on an Assassin's Creed binge up until
Yeah,
that
and
point.
Origins has like a whole different
Yeah,
mechanic.
yeah.
To
I
its-
like started with I started with Rogue, and I've been working my way up. And I had to basically unlearn how to play Assassin's Creed so that I could relearn how to play Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, I gotta say, there's a few bits and pieces that I feel like excuse me, that I feel like if I was gonna trim down the game, I would like include these specific bits and pieces. There's a couple of there's a handful of weapons with elemental effects.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I had a fire bow and arrow.
yeah.
It was
There's
like level
also
1, so I don't use it
eventually
anymore.
you can find like a flaming sword and stuff. But like
Oh,
my
that sounds awesome. I want
yeah,
that.
but my favorite thing about the fire bow is that because of how useful fire is in like both distractions and just like causing general chaos, like having a bow that just automatically lights anything on fire is really useful.
Right.
And oh, did you know that you can light your arrows on fire like Breath of the Wild, where if you load your arrow and you're next to a lamp, you can light it?
No.
Yeah.
That
You
sounds
can do,
awesome.
yeah, you can do that. You can even do that with the lamps on your boat. There's always like that little oil lamp on your boat,
Right.
in any given boat, and if you walk up to that and you load an arrow, it'll light your arrow, and then you can fire it at an enemy
Ah.
boat, and those things are so
Oh,
flammable.
nice.
Yeah, the apparently reed boat. You'd think that, like realistically, it'd be kind of a little more difficult to light a reed boat on fire, but those things just go up like dryer lint for some reason.
Whoosh. Oh look, I've been flamed. I don't know
I've
what's
been
the word.
emblazoned.
Emblazoned. Yeah. Oh look, I've been emblazoned.
I'll
Um.
remember the word for that later.
Yeah, I was gonna say something. Uh, I got the season pass, so I like automatically started the game
I
with
didn't
like
even
a
know it had a
horse.
season.
Yeah. So I automatically started the game with like a horse and like these legendary weapons, and one of them was like a flaming arrows. I was like, oh, this is neat.
Do you think eventually there'll be a game series that is so robust that it's updated into its own sequels?
What do you mean?
Well, like, basically, like timeline wise, I was thinking you would go from Origins into like another more like any game after Origins,
Uh,
specifically like on the timeline.
well,
But on a
what is?
technical level, the best example is if you've ever seen any Bethesda games with that are heavily modded, they end up acting a lot like their sequels.
Hmm.
Like if you look at New Vegas plus all the mods that people made for it, it was like, oh, here's some lighting mods and some shading mods and higher quality textures,
Right.
and here's some like AI patches, and oh, on top of that, we made an entire like weapon crafting system. And then Fallout 4 comes around and it's like, hey, we got this weapon crafting system, and it's like, how did people make New Vegas look like as good as Fallout 4? At least on release date, and not like 2 days later, where then people made mods for Fallout 4 to make the textures even higher quality.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's wild.
What? I feel like Syndicate is probably the most recent timeline wise. Like,
Yeah,
for
well,
all the
because it's
different
in the
stories. Because it's like Victorian
1860s.
era.
Yeah, I
I
think
really
so.
liked Syndicate. Syndicate was a lot of
Syndicate was
fun,
pretty fun.
but
I had a fun time with it.
this I mean, I don't know. Origins was quickly becoming better than Syndicate in my mind. Better than like most Assassin's Creed games in
My
my
favorite
mind.
thing about Origins is that it really puts into perspective just how old Egypt was when, like, like during the time of Cleopatra, like the old kingdom was already like dead and gone and buried in sand. Like
Right,
the fact that like, oh yeah, we're in ancient Egypt, but that's ancient Egypt. That's the
right.
old. This is the old. That's the old and busted Egypt. This is the new hotness. Like there are like towns that have been like swallowed by the dunes, like just for decades, and you just got here.
Dude, it's amazing to me that Hidden Blades have existed since the Assassin's Creed was called the Hidden Ones in ancient Egypt, and the Templars just don't have any.
They just don't use it.
Like, did you just. Because, I mean, Haytham was a Templar and he had one, but he
Yeah,
was originally an assassin, and the same thing with Shable. Like, do the Templars really feel like Hidden Blades aren't a thing that would give them any kind of advantage? Or put them
yeah,
on any kind of equal playing field?
yeah. That's
Like,
the weird thing is that
or are the
they're
assassins just so good at hiding that well-kept secret that no Templar has ever been
I
able to
can't figure out how to
get
put
the
a double
schematics
action
for?
blade into this design. It just
Yeah, I
doesn't
mean, I
work.
feel like that's a thing a person would be able to just figure out without stealing any kind of schematics or
Well,
whatever.
no, they'd have to have the blade itself, but as long as you had the blade itself, you could probably take it apart. It'd just be really hard to actually make another one. You'd
They
have
had
to.
two Templars with hidden blades. Did no one think, hey, let's mass produce
My
this?
guess is that that it's one of their few like principles. They're just like, no, we don't use hidden blades because they're an assassin weapon, and we whenever we do a killing, it's usually big and showy and not sneaky.
I mean, like, yeah, that's a good theory, but Haytham had one, and he was like a Templar master.
Yeah, but it got grandfathered in.
Eh, I don't know. I think it's dumb. Um, Caroline.
All right, for security reasons, all future Templar gatherings we're gonna have bare sleeves. I want to see everyone's bare forearms on this matter.
uh, Caroline.
Anyone walks in here with old timey thick cuffs, you know what's up.
Yeah.
So, the fanboy there they were talking about in the trial today. He came in through that drain.
Why do you have your hand over your mouth? So it seems. I guess they covered it up in a hurry.
Hey. Hey, Nick!
What? I'm right here. Stop yelling.
If that drain covers, if that drain covers, the boy won't be able to come in.
You okay there, Maya?
I was just eating some fruit snacks.
Yeah, I think that was the idea.
What if he's already in here?
Oh.
Now we're just stuck in here. He can't despawn. He'll just be wandering around. I feel kind of sorry for him, though, don't you?
Not really. What, you want to rip the grate off?
Really, Nick? We can?
No! What? Whoa, she's serious. Uh-oh.
Rip it open.
No! I mean, the story probably won't progress unless they do, but I would absolutely say no in a real-world setting.
Yeah, because
But
like
I
on
feel
on
like
a
most of
reasonable
the-
level, like this wouldn't move anything forward per se.
Yeah.
However, I would rip it open if only because, in this, or specifically game wise, because you'd be like, I'll rip it open, and then on the other side there'll be like some boy like, I was waiting for someone to take this off, and they'd be like, hey, did you see anything suspicious here? Because we're working on a case.
Well, I guess some things are just made to be broken. Oh my god,
Cuts
excuse
to
me, please.
Maya and Phoenix standing outside the studio. That's just a big fireball. I think
Some
we
things
did
are
it
just
wrong.
made to be broken,
We
you
did it wrong.
said. I never said some things were supposed to
I
be
saw
lit
a
on
spider.
fire. I saw...
I have
It
this.
just turns into like llamas with hats.
I have this comic idea that I really want to. I needed to just pay an artist to do, but it's but it's seeing a spider in their house, and it's like it's Clark and Bruce, and it's like Clark sees a spider, carefully picks it up with a cup, places it outside on a plant. Um, Bruce sees a spider, nods, goes back to work. It's like, are you gonna move that spider? Nah, it's part of the circle of life. It'll keep other bugs out. I have, as long as it's not super venomous.
Right.
I got my shots this year. I don't know how that works, but
Can you get shots for spiders?
no, I don't think so. But maybe it has spider rabies.
My sister and I have this deal worked out that she deals with insects and I deal with no, she deals with spiders and I deal with insects because I have like very crippling arachnophobia.
But not with like just other bugs.
I mean like just the poisonous ones, so like spiders and scorpions mainly, but we don't have to
Hmm.
worry about scorpions here.
Yeah, which is weird because it's basically the same climate as where there are scorpions.
Man,
They
I'm
just
not
don't. They
complaining.
just don't hang out here. Yeah.
They just don't hang out
Yay! You know, Nick, you're pretty swell sometimes. You're pretty swole sometimes.
here. Just gets to Phoenix and he's like super jacked. He's like tearing through his suit.
No, he's just like Chidi, where he's surprisingly cut under his suit.
Oh, like who?
It's from The Good Place.
Oh, I was thinking like Vaughn from Tales from the Borderlands. When he like takes his
Oh yeah.
shirt off and he
Well,
comes out
that's
and he's got like abs and
that's
he's like, "You are
the
weirdly buff, dude."
that's the opposite of Vaughn, where Vaughn is the guy who you always knew was buff and he won't put a shirt on.
Oh no, I mean in Tales from the Borderlands.
Ah,
He was
because in
he was
Borderlands
very much a
3,
different person in
you
Tales from the
meet
Borderlands.
him and he's always
I forgot
in
that
his
he was in
underwear
the
with a
third
cape.
game. No, like in Tales from the Borderlands, he's much more like he's kind of like the opposite. Like his whole journey throughout Tales from the Borderlands is becoming so bandit life that he eventually just stops wearing clothes within the third game.
He's just
Except that
got
didn't actually happen in Tales from the Borderlands. He kind of like had a sort of man bun, and he was like very dignified looking, and that was how they left him off as like a very dignified looking bandit king. And then third game came around and was like, what if Vaughn was just like crazy and never wore clothes?
I feel like you just have so much stuff going on with the skin, you know?
Yeah,
Like I feel like just with you need a certain level of like skin oiliness to like keep stuff off of out of your body.
dude, I could not be a bandit king. I need civilization, if only for the fact that if I am not able to like have regular access to CeraVe cream, my hands will dry up and turn to dust. Like
What
it
if you're on a
was,
swamp planet though? You just
I don't know. Like my hands were literally so bad that they would just like bleed randomly at one point. This was before I got like diagnosed with eczema.
I
But
thought
they
you were
would
just
literally,
cursed
yeah, yeah,
by a wizard.
yeah, probably. But yeah, they would literally just like randomly bleed for like no reason. Like, oh, what? Okay, well, I mean, not for no reason. They were super dry and crusty and horrible looking.
No, they
It
would
was
just
very
bleed
gross.
for no reason. It was really weird. Sometimes they'd be symbols. Pretty sure it was just Korean though. I guess it was a Korean wizard. You know, I could have heeded his calling if I know how to read Korean. Bro, that's gonna be so frustrating if you see a mysterious message but it's not in a language you can read.
Right?
So it's just like, well, it's written in blood, so I can assume it's something foreboding.
Right. You, your line.
No, I read that line.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You're pretty
Oh no.
swole sometimes.
Yeah, but like in Tales from the Borderlands, when he's first introduced, you don't know that he's buff until he like
Nick,
takes
are
his
you
shirt off.
talking about Borderlands again?
Yeah, I didn't finish my thought. I wasn't finished with the thought because
Yeah.
like they're like in the desert, right? And they get stranded. Their vehicle is like gone, and they're like in the desert surrounded by sand. And Vaughn's like off taking a piss, and he comes back and he's taking off his shirt and he's like wrapped it around his head, and he's like, okay, well we should probably do something now. And he's like got like abs, and Reese is like, you are weirdly buff, dude. And he was like, oh yeah, I keep an exercise bike in the office, and I was like, you would not get that from an exercise bike.
I mean, I think it's not from it's not from the exercise itself. It's from the level of cardio because I think he just has really low body fat, That's why he's just got like he's not buff. He's just really lean. You know.
Oh well, he's pretty buff in Tales from the
I
Borderlands.
imagine like once he became a bandit king, it's pretty easy to stay lean because it's just not a lot to eat.
Yeah, Bandit life. Sometimes.
I feel like is other bandits meat like a red meat or a white meat? Or
Would
is it
you? Because like they're burned by the desert sun.
no? As in it's a meat type. It's depending on the
Well, I
animal and
mean,
what part of the animal.
because if you're super sunburned, then you probably would be red meat.
Well, that's not how muscles work.
Ah,
Look at a
this human
sunburnt
tastes
muscle.
sunburnt. This human is like way burnt by the sun. I
Look,
don't like this arm, dude. You want this burnt arm?
what you keep the skin on?
What? Why? I mean, wouldn't you? I eat
No, I
chicken
cut the
skin all the
crust
time.
off. What are you talking
Chicken
about?
skin is
If you're
delicious.
gonna eat bandit, you gotta cut the crust off.
What, you don't like skin?
It's got the. It's just. It's the only clean part of the bandit is the inside.
I did not think about that. I mean, you would probably just cook them up until they were like so cooked that they couldn't possibly give you some kind of
I
horrible
mean,
infection.
yeah, but as in like you cook something to get bacteria off it, but you can't like cook dirt off. Anyways,
You
we're getting
can't?
way into this whole like theoretical cannibalism. Okay, Maya.
Welcome to our
Hi-ya!
cannibalism podcast, where we talk about how would you eat a human.
For the bandit, does it count as what kind of meat is it? Is it kosher? I'm gonna assume it's just not. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I could speak with like a couple rabbis on Twitter and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, human meat is not kosher for multiple reasons."
I would love, like, Harley Quinn is Jewish, so I would love if like at some point in the cartoon she dropped like some line about something being kosher.
That can't be. Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, there. That should make the kids happy.
the things we do.
I saw a trailer for a new episode of Harley Quinn and I panicked because I saw an egg person, and then
Ah!
they died immediately
Wow.
to make an omelet, and I was like, no, and then I clicked on it and it was like, oh okay, it was Queen of Fables and she summoned up Humpty Dumpty, and I was like, oh okay, it's just Humpty Dumpty, it's not Eggsy, our pride and joy.
Oh, dude, speaking of Humpty Dumpty, he's in Jack of Fables. So you know how I've been like really on about Fables?
So is he like an egg person?
Yes, he is. He is in fact an egg person.
I was
So
thinking that he'd be like, I was imagining him as like a human, but he's got a bunch of like surgical scars, like he was literally put back together. That'd be a cool aesthetic.
yeah, that would be neat. But he's not in the main Fables comic. He's in the spin-off of Jack of Fables because Jack gets like exiled from Fabletown, so he kind of just
Oh,
runs off
he
into his
got
own comic book.
he got exiled.
He got exiled, and Humpty Dumpty is there, and they wind up in like this sort of prison place, and they're
Just
escaping.
lingering on that dumb joke.
Yeah, yeah, I got it. It was funny. It was funny. Exiled, because Humpty's an egg.
Yes.
I got the joke.
Okay.
It was very funny. It was very funny.
stop,
Good job,
stop.
Taylor.
So he goes. So he got exiled and he meets Humpty
Yeah.
Dumpty.
Well, it wasn't Humpty Dumpty that got exiled. It was Jack
Yeah.
of Fables.
Was Humpty
he-
just like out of town and just found
No,
him?
Humpty Dumpty was in a prison.
Ah.
There's like these people that like collect fables and erase their stories so that they lose all their power because apparently that's how that works. And Humpty Dumpty was there, and Jack runs into him. Jack gets like captured and brought to this prison. Of course, Jack has also made like Jack before all this became a big time like movie person and like made a whole trilogy of Jack movies. So now
So
he's
it's
like
really hard to
he's
to
like
re-delete
really
him, I
hard to
guess?
kill now because people are like obsessed with these Jack movies because they were really good movies. So now he's just like ultra powerful and can like
Oh,
heal
that's really
his
cool.
skin.
That makes a lot of sense in retrospect.
Yeah, but he meets Humpty Dumpty, and he does a prison break, and there's like a whole bunch of fables there, and Humpty Dumpty's one of them. And they come across a group of prison guards, and Humpty like Humpty comes up and he's like, all right, I got this. I've been waiting to do this, and he like shoots out a cannon of like yolk at them and it like destroys them. But he's like so old and crusty at this point that his shell doesn't hold together, so he just kind of crumbles away after it. And I was like, okay, first off, What? Second? Humpty, no! Third off, no, really, what?
Was that some kind of like Humpty Dumpty Final Flash or something?
Yeah! I
He
don't.
needs a sensu
He
bean or
just like.
something.
It's just like a barrage of yolk comes like out of his.
Eggsy,
Out of him.
no.
And he just like impales them with yolk.
uh,
And then he falls apart and dies. Like he sacrificed
Cause of
himself.
death? Oh, you'd think it would be impact trauma, but actually, this guy had high cholesterol. That's what killed him.
Oh, it's so weird. Uh,
You could click the grate. Let's see.
clicking great. The drain gets the.
The grain drain is off. Only Mimbittle Bram Blablage.
And I know who did it.
The kids will be able to come in again. Doesn't it make you feel great to do a good deed?
I don't really think that was a good deed, but okay. Must be nice to live so free of guilt.
Meanwhile, Phoenix is just wandering Silent Hill.
uh, wait, what the fuck is going on? No, get out of here, laptop. Stop with that. Looks like one of those electric powered bicycles. I don't know about these. I mean, what's the point?
Makes it a lot easier to go up hills.
Don't people cycle to get exercise? I mean, sometimes you just kind of want to turn off for a while.
Yeah.
Just let the bicycle do
I
the
would
work.
I would love an electric bike if I could charge it by biking around. Like, just
That's
a reverse dynamo.
It's a very clever. The remains of the other day's lunch.
I was gonna criticize
scattered
that
around.
these T-bone things are left around, but one, as Phoenix says, everyone was too shocked to clean up, and two, this place has like a staff of like 5 people in total, and I don't think anyone was like, yeah, let me just go to this part of the lot and clean it up. Like, no one's ready for that.
Right? Everyone was probably too shocked to clean up. There's a T-bone on the on one of the plates.
No, that's a T-bone.
That's a T-bone.
A Swedish blah 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 is way thicker and has way more bones.
That's a little blown. It's such a rich meal.
Okay, so the roast beast from Grinch? It's like that, but more dense.
That must be the storage room. That's where they keep all the film equipment.
Wow, Nick, you know a lot about the industry. It's just what it says on the door.
Yeah, seriously. What else would they keep in a film studio? God, Maya, you're so stupid.
Maya's just being very optimistic. Now I want to read Maya as sarcastic. Just like, wow, Nick, how did you guess what
Nick,
was in there?
How knowledgeable
This is just
you
how
are.
my people speak.
Let me seduce you with the song of my people.
No, it's... This is how we speak on my planet.
Oh, dude, I was listening to this comedian dude talk about how he like ate a pot cookie or something to like go on a plane, and he was like mega high, and he was like, yeah, so I'm like super high at the airport, and I'm trying really hard to walk normally, so I'm like, I walk like normal people walk, and they walk like me, except I thought it was in my head, but it wasn't. So I'm literally just walking around like I walk like other people walk, and they walk like me.
He said it a lot. What's in... I swear we clicked that earlier.
I don't know,
Cola,
man.
candy, chips, gum, purple stuff, Sunny D.
It's so normal. I was expecting some cool theme snacks or something. Popcorn at least.
Wait, look! Samurai soda.
Oh my god.
Tastes like real samurai.
More samurai means more human.
I have an extra stomach for more human. We have this computer it can see through samurai.
Can see through samurai. You're lying.
Nick, try this.
Be my guest.
Okay. Oh, too bad it's sold out.
Cool.
I guess it sold well.
You think Phoenix is a person that like avoids soda?
I feel like it could be one or two. Like, because because I got like ADHD, I see like soda as like really really useful, like a fundamental part of like focus. But then I remember, oh yeah, like most people don't have ADHD and they don't need like stimulants for their brain. So like Phoenix could be one or the other, where he's either like, considering we don't see him like constantly drinking soda and stuff. I'm just imagining that like he really doesn't. He's one of those like water with every meal guys.
Right, right. A window into the dressing room. The glass is frosted, so I can't see
I
inside.
mean, I'd hope so.
Well, you can hope in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster.
There's a there's something like that where Jeff was like, "Well, if you poop in a hand and then you hope in the other and you slap it together, now you got poop in both hands." I was like, "What is this metaphor?"
Dude, you can't see your hair right now, but it's like it's not like super crazy. It's just like this one front part of
Oh
it
yeah, it's got that.
sticking
It's
out like
got
an
that
anime
anime.
character.
Yeah, it's got that anime stick
You're
out
like you're
thing.
like a unihuman.
Let me fix. Let me
Oh no,
adjust
I thought
that.
it was cool. I was gonna get a picture of it. I was gonna
Nah,
put it on Twitter and be like, "Look, the
no,
unihuman."
no.
There's a sign of the dressing room on the dressing room door. Hey, look, it's the dressing room door. Nick, how did you know it was the dressing room door? It
Does it
fucking
feel?
says it on the
Does it
door,
feel
Maya.
weird that the name is next to the door instead of on the door?
I didn't think about that. Will Powers, it must be neat to be this, to be the star and have your own room like this. Uh, the door to the dressing room. It's not locked.
Hey, Nick, let's go in. Maybe there'll be something else to steal.
I have another stomach for things that I've stolen.
just, she's just steal. She's just sneaking around, just putting things in her pockets.
She walks out of the room and her like robe thing is like significantly bigger.
Oh, it's all lumpy.
So lovely. Like Maya, did you steal anything? She's like, no, and
No.
like weird junks just starts falling out of her robe. Why do you ask?
Just a full, just an unsheathed katana just kind of clinks on the ground.
I walked in with that. Picks it up.
Where's the katana sheath? I ate it.
Hey, we're not thieves.
But we did take that card key.
Well, we borrowed that. There's a difference. We borrowed it without asking permission. Just goes to like Ruby. I am not a crook. uh, Ruby from Ruby.
I should get back to that.
It's good. I've been. I haven't really been keeping up with the new season, but I'll probably binge on it at some point this weekend. I don't. I don't.
I'm going back to the thing and
Yeah. Do
yeah,
that.
I'm gonna go back to the thing because I really. Let's see. I'm gonna.
Taylor, I don't think you need to go back to the thing.
What?
Was was this bicycle always here?
Oh no.
Well, it says that I've looked at it, so I guess so. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, no, never mind. Go back to the thing.
Oh, yeah. Go back to the main gate. That way we can bother Penny some more.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's go talk to Penny. Main gate.
I actually really appreciate. Oh, hello. I see I interrupted your thought. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
I'm sorry, did I break your concentration? Dude,
Oh, you look a little out of place. Yeah, I don't have my security guard hat.
yeah.
It's the clothes, isn't it? Hold on, that's my bro. Yes, hello, my bro. What, like right now? Right now? Oh, okay. Okay.
Is he here?
Yeah, he's here right
Well,
now.
we gotta do the outro.
Yeah, we gotta do the outro then. So, hey, thank you everyone for joining us.
But you gotta. They can't hear you.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh no, calamity!
You gotta do the outro for me.
we gotta call it here. Taylor's brother is here to pick him up.
So,
So
thank you.
thank you very much. I'm Blue Jack. That's Taylor. He is out the door. And we will see you guys next time. Whoops. Bye bye.